Miguel worked 12-hour days on construction sites across the city. His paycheck was half what documented workers made for the same job. He never complained. He had a daughter in Mexico. Every dollar he didn't spend went to her. She was 7 years old. One afternoon, his coworker, a man named Robert, 30 years old with a wife and 2 kids, watched the payroll being distributed. Miguel received an envelope with significantly less cash than everyone else. Robert's jaw clenched. That night, Robert made a phone call to the Department of Labor. It was a risk. His own job was precarious, but he couldn't unsee what he'd seen. The illegality was blatant. "I need to report wage theft," Robert said quietly into the phone. 2 weeks later, both men were fired. Miguel's hands shook when he received the termination notice. No job meant no money. No money meant his daughter went hungry. He couldn't afford to be righteous. He needed to survive. But Robert didn't regret it. "They're illegal," the foreman said, firing them both. "Hiring you was the mistake." Robert spent the next 3 years fighting. He documented everything he'd witnessed. He connected Miguel with a labor attorney. He testified before investigators. He risked his reputation. Miguel wanted to tell him to stop. It was too dangerous, but Robert kept going. The investigation expanded. Other workers came forward. The company's practices were exposed as systemic exploitation, affecting hundreds of undocumented workers. 5 years later, Miguel stood in a federal courtroom. The judge ruled in his favor. Back pay, $127,000. Damages, $50,000. And something more valuable, a path to legal status, eventually to citizenship. Robert was there, watching from the gallery, tears streaming down his face. After the ruling, Miguel found him in the courthouse hallway. "You risked everything," Miguel said, his voice thick with emotion. Robert shook his head. "You were risking everything just by existing here. I just made noise about it." That year, Miguel and Robert started their own contracting company. No exploitation, fair wages for everyone. Robert handled the business side, Miguel managed the crews. On the day they signed the partnership agreement, Miguel's daughter was there. She was 12 now, living legally in the United States. "Why did you help my dad?" she asked Robert. Robert smiled. "Because your dad is worth helping, and because some things are bigger than keeping your job." Years later, when asked why he'd risked everything to report Miguel's exploitation, Robert simply said, "I looked him in the eye every day.